Derrick, you are the youngest MVP in NBA history.
What if I told you that the youngest MVP in NBA history almost never made it out of one of America's most dangerous neighborhoods? And what if that same player's career was destroyed by one single step that changed everything? Today we're diving deep into the rise, fall, and redemption of Derrick Rose. A story so incredible it reads like fiction. But I promise you, by the end of this video, you'll understand why Rose's journey is the most heartbreaking what-if story in modern basketball. Let's get into it. Picture this. Southside Chicago, early 2000s. A place so dangerous that the local basketball court was nicknamed Murder Park, not because of the competition, but because of the literal murders that happened there. This is where Derrick Rose learned to play basketball. Growing up in a cramped 5-bedroom house with sometimes 13 people living there, Rose had every reason to follow the same path as his older brothers, dealing drugs just to survive. But basketball became his escape, his sanctuary in a world of chaos. His mother Brenda was his guardian angel, protecting him with the ferocity of a lioness. The local gangs knew better than to mess with Rose, not just because of his mother's reputation, but because everyone could see he was special. He was their golden ticket out. At Simeon Career Academy, Rose didn't just play basketball, he dominated it. Back-to-back state championships, clutch shots in the finals, and a high school record of 120 wins and just 12 losses. This wasn't just talent, this was destiny calling. Rose chose the University of Memphis over every major program because coach John Calipari convinced him they'd prepare him for the NBA better than anyone else. With Rose running the point, Memphis won 26 consecutive games and finished 33-1 in the regular season as the nation's #1 team. They reached the national championship game against Kansas, where Rose scored 17 points with 6 rebounds and 7 assists. Memphis lost in overtime, but Rose had proven he could perform on the biggest stage. Then came the scandal. An investigation concluded that Rose's SAT exam handwriting didn't match his own. Someone else likely took the test for him. The NCAA vacated Memphis's entire 2008 season. Rose's college career was erased from the record books. But NBA teams didn't care about academic scandals. They cared about what Rose could do with a basketball, and what he could do was extraordinary. But here's where the story gets wild. The Chicago Bulls had just a 1.7% chance, less than 2%, of landing the #1 pick in 2008. Against all odds, they won the lottery and drafted their hometown hero.
The Chicago Bulls select Derrick Rose from the University of Memphis.
The pressure was immense. Chicago hadn't had a superstar since Jordan left. The city was hungry, desperate for hope, and Rose, he delivered immediately. His rookie season was poetry in motion. Nobody could match his explosive first step, his ability to contort his body in midair, or his fearless drives to the basket. He learned to play with no referees at Murder Park, so NBA contact felt like nothing. But what made Rose special wasn't just his athleticism, it was his mentality. You could knock him down 100 times and he'd get up 101 times. That Chicago grit, that Southside mentality, was now wearing a Bulls uniform. By his third season, Rose had achieved something that seemed impossible just a few years earlier. At 22 years and 6 months old, he became the youngest MVP in NBA history. Michael Jordan never won MVP that young. LeBron never won it that young. Nobody had ever done what Rose accomplished. The Bulls won 62 games that season. Chicago finally had their next superstar, their chosen one who would bring championship glory back to the Windy City. The Bulls destroyed Chicago's opponent in Game 1 of the Eastern Conference Finals, beating LeBron's newly assembled Miami Heat by 21 points behind Rose's 28-6. Chicago hadn't felt hope like this since the 1990s. Then Miami adjusted. Coach Erik Spoelstra made the brilliant decision to have LeBron guard Rose in fourth quarters. Only LeBron had the combination of size, strength, and speed to slow down the MVP. Chicago averaged just 14 fourth quarter points in the next 4 games. Miami won each one. The Bulls lost the series 4-1, but Rose averaged 23-6 while shooting just 35% from the field. LeBron had found the blueprint: physical defense, clog the paint, force Rose into contested jumpers. Still, Rose was 22 years old and just made the conference finals as the league MVP. The future looked limitless. April 28th, 2012. Game 1 of the playoffs against Philadelphia. The Bulls were up by double digits with under 2 minutes left. The game was over. Rose should have been on the bench, resting for the next game. But Coach Tom Thibodeau was notorious for playing his stars heavy minutes. So Rose was still in the game when it happened.
Rose came down bad on his left foot. See him holding on to his knee and down.
One drive to the basket, one awkward landing, one torn ACL. That single moment didn't just end a season, it ended an era. The Derrick Rose we knew and loved was gone forever.
Derrick Rose has a torn ACL suffered in Game 1 of the Bulls' first-round playoff series against the Sixers.
What followed was a nightmare that lasted years. The 2013 season, gone. Then, in 2014, just when it seemed he was back, his other knee gave out. Another surgery, another year lost.
Derrick Rose reported with right knee pain today. An exam and subsequent MRI confirmed a medial meniscus tear of the right knee.
The saddest part? Rose was never the same player again. The explosive athleticism that made him special was gone. The fearless drives became hesitant approaches. The youngest MVP in history had become the most fragile superstar in the league. But here's what makes Derrick Rose's story truly special. He never gave up. Despite injury after injury, despite being traded away from his hometown, despite considering retirement, Rose kept fighting. The lowest point came in Cleveland when he literally walked away from the team, unsure if he wanted to continue playing.
Cavaliers guard Derrick Rose has reportedly left the team, and according to our insider Adrian Wojnarowski and Cavs reporter Dave McMenamin, Rose is unsure about his future in the NBA.
Can you imagine? The youngest MVP in history contemplating retirement because his body had betrayed him so many times. Then came November 2018 in Minneapolis. Against the Utah Jazz, Rose erupted for 50 points, a career high.
Rose out of the corner, and it's a new career high for Derrick Rose.
Tears streamed down his face after the game as he realized he could still be great, just in a different way.
What does it mean to you, Derrick?
Everything, man. I work my ass off, bro. I wouldn't have did this for the franchise, the organization, the fans, everybody, man. I wouldn't be able to play the way I play, man.
That 50-point game wasn't just a basketball performance, it was a declaration. Rose had evolved from an explosive slasher to a crafty veteran, from a superstar to a beloved role player who younger guys looked up to.
And he's a great, great guy. One of the nicest human beings you'll ever meet in your life.
For the next several years, Rose continued to reinvent himself, proving that greatness isn't just about athletic ability, it's about heart, determination, and the refusal to quit. When Rose retired in 2024, he left behind a complex legacy. He's the only MVP winner who might not make the Hall of Fame on first ballot. He never won a championship. His prime lasted just 4 seasons. But here's what the numbers don't tell you. Derrick Rose represented hope for an entire city. He showed that you can escape the most dangerous neighborhoods and reach the mountaintop. He proved that getting knocked down doesn't define you. Getting back up does. Rose squeezed every ounce of talent from a body that betrayed him repeatedly. He remained humble through superstardom and gracious through adversity. What do you think? Is Derrick Rose's story more inspiring because of what he achieved or because of how he handled losing it all? Have you ever had to completely reinvent yourself after facing major setbacks? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. And if this story moved you the way it moved me, smash that like button and subscribe for more deep dives into sports' most compelling stories. Trust me, we've got more emotional journeys coming your way that you won't want to miss.